Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Kal halalim la abanawa Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakaha Kurash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom. A hearty shalom to the prophets of that body, and shalom to the 144,000 and 1/3. May peace and blessings be upon your households and the spirit of endurance. We are going home. We are at the tail end of this kingdom, and which is a beautiful thing. All right, as our apostles and elders and prophets say, we are living in some exciting times, and indeed we are. Okay, now if you don't already know by now, like the song would say, if you don't know me by now, you'll never, never, never know me. Listen, if you don't know what this devil is about by now, all right, especially I'm talking to my generation in the 40s or 50s or whatever, and even you youngers, right? If you don't know what the so-called white man's, MO is, his modus operandi, what his motivations are and what he's about, all right, then you're completely bugged out, all right? 400 plus treaties made of the tribe of Gad, broke every single one. All right, numerous treaties or agreements made with the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Esau broke every single one of them. Whatever they say, Esau being the so-called white man and all, whatever they say, you never ever believe them. Okay, and a lot of us in our life have had interactions with these damn devils, and you know for a fact they don't adhere to their word. They don't really, they're not an honorable people, which we know they're not. Okay, so we've got to be very careful in the times that we're in. Okay, so Ecclesiasticus 12:10 again. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. I'm just going to play a video segment in a second of news. Therefore, copyright fair use, 1976. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Trump, the last Trump and all, Lord willing, making statements such as peace 2025, right? And obviously with a lot of people around the world that are praying to Wakitaki Jebus, or whatever particular gods they pray to, they're hoping for an outcome like this. Now, there's a lot of idiots out there that actually believe what this devil says, right? And time and time again, these numerous promises he's made thus far by increasing jobs, this, that, and the third, things will be back to normal again. They're supposedly going to make America great again like it used to be for the so-called white man. But now even the so-called white man is crashing out, all right? And they're even finding out, and even these good old boys are finding out that Trump is not a man of his word. So what makes you think that peace and safety is going to be on the agenda and something that's going to actually happen? When Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai stated himself that he is not a man that he should lie. All right? Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai, the power of heaven and earth, and beyond and beyond and beyond. Right? The creator of all, Abanawa Yahweh, and his son Yahweh Shai. They're not men. The Most High is not a man that he should lie. All right? And the Lord said this kingdom is going to fall and going to be destroyed and blown off the face of the planet. Right? So what makes you think that Trump, okay, that fat, pus-filled Edomite, is going to be a door stopper? Like he's gonna, an analogy would be like he's a door stopper. He's gonna be there to stop that door slamming into the wall. You're not going to stop this war. It's going to happen. But a lot of people are hoping that there'll be peace, so they can have optimism again. But they're the only ones, especially you 2/3 and you unelect Israelites and you heathens. You're going to get caught. Okay. All right. It's like being on a beach, relaxing. You've just got you got your shades on. You're lying on the, what do you call them? The recliners and all that. right? The sun's out, and then lo and behold, a huge tidal wave comes, like in the movie Deep Impact. Was it Deep Impact? Yeah. At the end, where that girl is waiting with her father, or on the beachfront, and that wave is coming. You're going to get caught off guard like that. All right. But in the movie, they knew the wave was coming, but you're going to get caught off guard like that. All right. And then that's it. You won't be able to escape. All right. For when they shall say, 1 Thessalonians 5:3 again, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Okay. You will not escape. Only the elect are going to escape because they have that covering of Yahweh Bahashim Yahshai. And the Lord is building up the hopeful elect on a daily basis. Okay, through situation after situation after situation, be it small or be it large, to the point where things are working out and prayers are being answered. And Jake ain't saying that with pride. Jake is saying that with confidence and faith. Yes, Jake gets put through hell, but then again, there's always an avenue or, as I say, a light at the end of the tunnel. Yahweh Bashim Mashai delivers you out of it, and then you learn something from it, right? Okay, let's go to the video segment now. I'm just going to skim through it. I'm just going to go to the core parts. All right. Okay, this is from Monday. Peace in the Middle East. And there's no such thing as the Middle East. It's West Asia. All right. Remember, the so-called white man is a cartographer, so he renames lands and changes names and landmarks and all that. That's his one of the things he's done, to put himself in a position of authority. Well, the Lord put him in a position of authority anyway, as a whooping stick upon us, and deservedly so. But our punishment is at the end now. Let's go.
Hello to you. We're live in Hostages Square in Tel Aviv at the end of an extraordinary day here in the Middle East. We've witnessed the release of all the surviving hostages held by Hamas and abducted in the October the 7th attacks in 2023. And Israel has handed over hundreds of Palestinian prisoners and detainees under phase 1 of Donald Trump's peace plan. Well, the day began with euphoric scenes here in the plaza just over there, as images of the 20 living hostages were beamed onto a giant screen, some having been reunited with their families. Hamas was due to return the bodies of another 28 hostages who died. So far, just 4 have been brought back, much to the anger of their relatives. Israel then began releasing almost 2,000 prisoners and detainees, met by cheering crowds in the occupied West Bank and in Gaza. And as all this was happening, Donald Trump flew in to a rapturous reception and standing ovations in Israel's parliament, the Knesset, where he hailed the historic dawn of a new Middle East. Well, it's been a day of emotion and relief, but there are so many obstacles still to overcome if a lasting peace is to be achieved. In a moment, we'll hear from Tom Bateman, who flew in with Donald Trump and then went on to Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, where the ceasefire deal was officially signed off with other world leaders. And we'll have a report from Lucy Williamson, who's been with Palestinians in Ramallah in the West Bank. But first, here's Jeremy Bowen on a dramatic day for the Middle East.
First light in Tel Aviv on the day that 2 years of waiting ended for Israel. On the beach, a tribute to Donald Trump, hoping maybe he'd see it as he flew in. Hostage Square.
Tel Aviv is supposed to be the biggest fruitcake, biggest fruitcake parade around the world happens in that place. You think the Lord is going to spare Tel Aviv? There ain't going to be no peace in the so-called Middle East. All right. This is just a curveball, all right, but the hopeful elect can see past through this. Let me get scripture out 1 second. I think 1 minute. No peace unto the wicked, King James Version. Yeah. Isaiah 48:22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. All right. Okay. The Lord has prepared the wicked for slaughter, man. All right. And that's a lot of our people too, and deservedly so.
in the city center has been the heartbeat of 2 years of campaigning for.
You know what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Exactly. So, hey, there's no peace over there. And this whole world is mowed out and on a satanic vibration.
The release of the hostages. For the people here, the last few hours of a long wait went by very slowly, and then it started. In Gaza City, Elkanah Bobot was given a phone to call home. His family could see the Hamas guard right behind him. Outside, Hamas was back on the streets to clear the way for the International Red Cross to take the hostages on the first stage of their journey back to Israel. Hamas took the hostages to use as a weapon against Israel, but they had become a liability. Their presence did not stop Israel's offensive, and huge destruction and death in Gaza. The war could not end until the hostages were free. 50 miles north in Tel Aviv's Hostage Square, the tension broke. The news that they were on the move out of Gaza and away from Hamas was enough. It was a moment of release for the people waiting and watching, as well as for the men being driven out of Gaza. The crowd followed every moment on a big screen. The first 7 hostages are now out. There's a real sense of expectation. They're expecting the next batch in about an hour. The International Red Cross handed the hostages over to the Israeli military, the IDF. Yishai Miran was watching on TV. It was her husband Omri, a 48-year-old father of 2 from Kibbutz Nahal Oz. Then the family and friends of Matan Angrest, a 20.
Well, this happiness is going to be short-lived. All right, got the gist of the idea. What's going on?
Roles, but it is a ceasefire and came to it. The Gaza deal was a joint effort. Many of the leaders who came to Sham had vital roles, but it is a ceasefire and exchange of hostages for prisoners. It is not peace.
Psalms 83 comes to mind, right? You know, heathens have collectively come together to cut Israel from being a nation. All these heathens up there on the stage. Ain't no peace, man. No peace.
Hours after, it is not peace. An exchange of hostages for prisoners. It is not peace. Exchange of had vital role. The Gaza deal was a joint effort. Many of the leaders who came to Sham had vital roles, but it is a ceasefire and exchange of hostages for prisoners. It is not peace.
Exchange for hostages and prisoners, right? It is not peace. Indeed, it's not.
Hours after Israel's hostages were reunited with their families, a few hundred people stayed in their square in Tel Aviv. The yellow ribbons, symbols of return, were still there, and the people seemed reluctant to let go of a momentous day. There was hope here today in this square, and joy, and the same for Palestinians.
It's going to be short-lived, though, because the Lord is not a man that he should lie. But in Revelation 11:14. Revelation 11:14, King James Version. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Woe means evil times. All right, World War I and World War II are both prophesied. Okay, in the scriptures, they came to pass. What makes you think that third woe wouldn't? All right, and you know, you can feel it in the air, like that Phil Collins song. People are saying that something's coming. All right, something is coming. All right, if you can't see it around you, that we are at the last few tired breaths of this kingdom. If you can't see that, then there's something seriously wrong with you. You better put the drugs down. You know, like that song, the drugs don't work, they just make you worse. I think it's something like that. if you remember that song, the drugs don't work, they just make you worse. Something like that. Yeah, put the drugs down. Luke 21:36. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Okay? Whatever your lot is, all right? Whether it's large or small, or, don't compare yourself to another individual. Be blessed that you've got enough to attain salvation if that's the Lord's will. Okay? Everything else, as our elders would say, we'll find out in the kingdom. Okay? Constantly, as Elder Apostle Rakar would say, keep your medicine strong. Pray without ceasing. Whatever move you make, you pray. You're leaving the house, you pray before you leave. Pray in your mind. Okay? Before you work out, you pray. Before you jump in your car, pray. Before you go to the store, pray. Before you go out anywhere, even for like a social thing, you pray. Before you go and link up with your woman, pray. Yeah? Pray constantly and consistently. All right, so you have that covering of Yahweh Bahashem Yahshai, and the Lord is going to give you indications that you are covered as well. So your confidence and faith is continues to build up. All right, and we, because the times that are coming on this earth, they're very scary, man. When you think about it, we're going to need Yahweh Bahashem Yahshai. I don't give a shit how good you are with your fists and your 3 black belts. That shit ain't gonna work against super soldiers, man. Not unless the Lord, download, gives you a spiritual download of that spiritual power, so you can fight them or escape. Isaiah 59:19, when the enemy comes in like a flood, we're gonna need that power, man. Or at least, as our elders would say, our prophets would say, be next to someone, a Jake that's got the spiritual power, Lord willing. But obviously, how Jake wants to, wants to taste some of that power, man. Read one more. Ephesians 6:11. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahshai, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. All right, the devil is a deceiver. All right, this is deceiving. All right, there ain't no peace, man. No peace is coming to this world. All right, peace will be established on this planet Earth and beyond, and in the universe and every single planet around. However you want to say it, man. In Yahweh Bahashem Yahshai's creation, there'll be peace when our people, us Israelites, all right, are ruling this planet Earth and beyond under the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahshai. Okay? That's when there'll be peace. There ain't no peace, man. All right? So for you hopeful elect out there, be wary. All right? Remember, okay, they act a lot in movies, they act a lot in dramas and shows and in serials and things like that. Okay? Okay, you can. This is basically acting as well. Just because the news and cameras are flashing doesn't mean that this is a divine revelation that the Lord has sent. Oh yeah, there'll be peace on earth. Nah, there won't be. All right, there'll be none of that fa la 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 bullshit anymore. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there now. There's no peace unto the wicked. All right, and war will come, and war will happen, and this is the tail end of this kingdom, and there's no bouncing back to how Esau, the so-called white man, used to live 100 years ago, 150 years ago. It will not be hunky-dory like that anymore. All right? Your time on this earth as a ruler, as being lauded, is over, so-called white man, Esau, Edom, and you heathens as well. All right? That sit at the table with the so-called white man, you know, getting his crumbs that he chucks at you. All right? All right? Anyway, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakak Kadash, Mawatha Bad Babal, Kwame Ashrala, Shalom.